All right, continuing on the Toyota halftime report back here in New York. Yeah, there we are. Okay, everyone's been talking about Manning versus Manning. You talked with them.
Yeah, you know, and everybody thinks his family was born beneath some lucky star, and they were. But really, the bonds of this family have been forged through some pretty tough times.
My dad would play this game called Amazing Catches.
I'd stand up on the porch, they'd run. Now, they needed to get past the sidewalk so they wouldn't kill themselves.
You could throw it just out in front enough where you had to dive and make a one-handed catch.
The first lessons occurred here in the smallish front yard of Olivia and Archie's gracious New Orleans home. Episodes of happy chaos, episodes of typical brotherly abuse. Like the time middle child Peyton asked the youngest Eli to be a catching dummy.
So I got him this great big long sleeve t-shirt. I stuffed it with like pillows down each of the sleeves and about 3 pillows kind of, and, you know, taped the shirt around him so he would stay. He looked like from Ghostbusters, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's what he looked like, you know, just kind of waddling around right there.
I didn't mind doing it at the time, you know, but so it's just part of being a kid and growing up.
You wouldn't do it again?
I wouldn't do it right now.
This afternoon?
I can catch yours.
Maybe.
Dude, I think you've lost a little steam since then also.
There we go. It's starting early.
Yeah.
Their father was a local hero, remarkable for his gutsy style, the saving grace of the otherwise hapless New Orleans Saints.
Peyton, who's your favorite football player, man?
My dad.
Your dad's your favorite football player, too?
He was remarkable, too, as a father, because he'd decide the last thing his sons needed was another coach.
Even though he knew more about football than our coaches did, he never got involved. He sat at the top of the stands. He filmed us. He filmed every high school game we had. You know, so he wasn't yelling anything. He was just up there like any other dad.
And so he was a spectator, but also careful not to miss a moment. A commitment born out of his own personal loss.
You had about as tough a deal as a young man as anybody could have with what happened to your father. Committed suicide. You were the first one to find him.
I lost him at a young age, and I think somehow that motivated me when I did have children. I really wanted to be with them.
As I got older, you know, 16, 17, I realized that my dad, even at that point, wanted to hug us even longer and be around, you know, wanting to talk to us. And I kind of started to understand that was the age when my dad lost his father.
There might have been 3 Manning sons in pro football. The oldest, Cooper, was an all-state wide receiver. In 1991, in a golden year for the family Manning, Cooper, a senior, was the favorite target of the new sophomore quarterback, his brother Peyton.
It was kind of fun that all that time in the front yard winging around got to come to fruition and really count.
We had our own signals, and we had it here out in the backyard, you know, slant and, you know, the hook, and just our own little, you know, kind of dirt play signals that just he and I kept.
People have asked me about fun years in football. I've been around football a long time, but that was the most fun.
Cooper was recruited to play at the University of Mississippi, his dad's alma mater. But suddenly his body was failing him, catching a pass once so natural, now strangely problematic. He was diagnosed with a dangerous degenerative spinal condition. Football was over.
He would have caught a pass one day to upset Alabama or somebody. I know that. And he would have played, and he would have contributed, and he'd have been a good teammate. So I have to tell him that was all over. That was pretty tough.
They kind of lost a little bit of watching to get to see me play. And the idea of Peyton and I teaming up again possibly, and so I kind of felt that we all lost a little bit where it wasn't just all bared on little old me.
He kind of wrote me this note saying he knew that his football career was now over with, but he wanted to live his dream of playing football through me. And since that day, Chris, I still treat every practice, every workout, every weightlifting session in the month of April as if it could be my last, because you just don't know.
If Cooper was the best athlete, the youngest, Eli, seemed the least likely to succeed.
It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm in the training room, kind of getting tape. You know, just getting ready for the game.
He calls about 5:30. Well, you know, you got a 7 o'clock kickoff, and your child calls at 5:30. I'm thinking something's wrong.
What's wrong? What's wrong? You know, anything? I go, will you tape Seinfeld for me? Because I'm gonna have to miss it tonight. Can you tape the game?
Arch was not happy about that. That's not the focus he taught us.
But in this family, life's lessons are passed on. A father who knew to be a friend, not a coach. A brother who taught another to seize the day. And from Peyton to Eli, an example of what comes of tenacity and devotion.
We've got something good for him. Hard work, I love it. You got it. On 3. Hard work on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hard work. Got it, baby. July 4th. I played golf that morning, but I told myself I was going to give my day off from working out. I just go out in the water and hang out. And I called him and I said, what are you doing? He said, I just got through working out. I'm going, quarterback and New York Giants are working out. Now I got to go work out.
Our kids are just giving us so much joy. And it's not about touchdown passes or winning some game, just joy, you know, that they've been good kids and that we've been through a lot of things together and that we are a family.